Hi, thanks for watching. I'd like to continue to share with you some more things that would help you in family life and in raising children, particularly. I've long believed that one of the secrets to raising children, really, there's just two ingredients. And I know most people think it's probably very, very complicated, but really, in my experience and from the Bible, understanding of the Bible, there's really just two things that you need to raise a child and raise them well, to have them turn out basically good. And those two things are love and discipline. And we need a good combination of the two. And equal amounts, maybe we could say, of love and discipline. We also need love first. Love always comes first. Discipline comes second. But here's what happens if there's basically two ditches that people get into. One is all love, no discipline, and the other is all discipline and no love or very little love. And those two ditches produce very different kinds of bad results. If you give a child all love, but no discipline, really what happens is that they become very, very spoiled. They don't hear no for an answer ever. They're not given any boundaries. They're not taught respect or to honor other people. And so they become very selfish. They lose self-control, and they have to have everything they want right away, or they throw fits. And ultimately that road leads to, for an adult, leads to jail or prison. All love, no discipline is a bad way to go. The other ditch and the other bad way to go is all discipline with not enough love, and that would look like a parent who's maybe very angry, and there's lots of discipline and lots of anger and lots of rebukes and lots of corrections and lots of high expectations, but very little praise, very little reward, and not very much affection. That type of atmosphere really makes a child feel that it's impossible to please their father or their mother. And if they're raised with that kind of thing, they actually become very angry, very resentful. And eventually they rebel, and when they are able to, they run. They turn and run away from home. So really what the best combination to start very early in life is lots of love and good, healthy discipline. The Bible says, 1 John 4:19, we love God because he first loved us. And that principle works for children. When you first love your children, they're born into the world with an empty tank, a blank slate, and when you begin to love them and pour love into their hearts, you fill their tank, and they grow up healthy. Love looks like hugging, it looks like kissing, it looks like rolling on the floor with them, playing and wrestling. It looks like it may be gifts, it may be words of love and appreciation, lots of hugs, just lots of affection. Love is healthy, affection is healthy. Then on the other hand, the discipline, I know a lot of people are very puzzled with what to do with the discipline issue, and it's okay to give good, healthy discipline. In fact, the Bible actually says in Proverbs 29:15, the rod and the rebuke give wisdom, but a child left to himself brings shame to his mother. So the rod and the rebuke, a correction and even strong discipline does bring wisdom. It also says in Proverbs 22:15, this one's a little funny, foolishness is bound up in the heart of a child. The rod of correction will drive it far from him. So there's something about correction and discipline that drives foolishness out of the heart of a child. But we're all born with kind of the sin nature the Bible describes, and when children get old enough, that sin nature kicks in. They begin to lie, they begin to disrespect, they begin to test boundaries, try to get their way, break rules. And so the best way of healthy discipline is to train your child that when you speak to them in a normal tone of voice, they have to obey you the first time. If not, there will be consequences. You lay out what the consequences are, and you stick to them. You train your child. You don't have to tell them twice or 3 times before you correct them or discipline them, because then they learn that the first time doesn't really matter. They learn to push you the second time or the third time until then you kind of react in anger, and that's when they know they've gone too far. So you train them when you speak in a normal tone of voice, and you tell them what to do or what not to do. They have to obey you the first time. You lay out what the consequences are, if that's going to be a timeout or a grounding or a spanking or whatever you've chosen and decided on. Different children have different temperaments. They have different discipline needs. But whatever consequence you've decided on, you have to enforce that. You have to follow through. If they disobey, you have to follow through the first time without raising your voice, without becoming angry, because you're training them to obey in principle rather than because you get angry. And if you don't follow through with your consequences, what you're actually training them to do is you're actually teaching them that you don't keep your word. You're lying to them. If you say you'll discipline them and you don't, then you're not keeping your word, and they learn that, and they learn to depend on that. So first time you speak in a normal tone of voice, you've got to enforce what you say. And with a good combination of love and affection and healthy discipline, not from anger, but from principle, your chances of raising a really great kid go sky high. And try it out. I hope it helps you.